Hello there, I'm Duncan Warnock from BAS Tax Accountants. Today I'm going to do a short video on how to do a bit of a health check on whether your GST activity statement is nearing completion for the quarter or other relevant period. So what I'm really saying is you might be in a situation where you're registered for GST on a quarterly basis, the quarter's just finished, and you're thinking to yourself, right, am I ready to go? Is the BAS ready to be lodged? So when you are in this situation, and this is in the context of Intuit QuickBooks Online, there are a couple of good ideas to try and work that out as a starting point. So first option, what we're going to do is we're just going to see this customer is set up for bank feeds for their business bank accounts. In this case, they only have one. So we're going to go to Transactions, Banking. And we're doing a quick check. This example is for the September 2016 quarter. And what we want to do is see, have we allocated all our transactions for the quarter? So we've gone to the bank account. We've looked under For Review tab. We're looking down. And sure enough, in this case, there are actually quite a few transactions. Actually, let's just sort by date and just make sure it's in date order. In fact, this is just a pretend client, so there's some old data as well. But in this case, we're more looking at the July to September 2016 quarter. What we can see, we've got two transactions here that haven't been allocated. So, first answer to the question, are we ready to finalise our BAS for the quarter? The answer is no. We've got two transactions that haven't yet been allocated into QuickBooks Online. They're sitting under the For Review tab. Okay, let's assume that those transactions have been taken care of and everything is wonderful. If that was the case, we then do a second check by having a look at the transactions that have been allocated for the quarter and getting some comfort that we've allocated them correctly in terms of bookkeeping, whether it be the right general ledger code, and also whether they've got the right tax code. Have we actually applied GST for a transaction where really there was no GST? So let's just show you one example on how to check that. Alright, what we're going to do, we click on GST. We go to Run Reports. We select the Detail option. The report is defaulted to this financial quarter and no information in this case has come up. So what we'll do, we'll go change that to last financial quarter. Just double check it is for the dates you need. In this case it's July 1 to September 30, 2016. That's exactly what we're after. We'll click Run. And there you go. So these are the transactions appearing in the BAS detail report. And it's really obviously a draft. And we can see some of the details. We can see some invoices. We can see that the tax code is GST on sales, and it's 10%. There are some expenses, some GST on non-capital, some GST free, some GST on capital. So this is where we're really trying to check, have we done the right thing? So for the example video that we're doing, I can see that there's an expense, and it's got GST on capital and the amount is only $45.45. So I know that typically would be not GST on capital, in fact be more likely to be GST on capital, non-capital. So I want to change that. I'll click on the transaction, bring it up. Legal expenses, I happen to know that that supplier does charge GST, but it should be GST on non-capital. So I want to change that, select that, GST on non-capital, click Save, and the transaction is updated. If we go back to the report, we now see that transaction appearing with the tax code of GST on non-capital. All these transactions are the individual transactions that roll up to the summary of all the information for the quarterly BAS. So if there is anything to be fixed, then it does need to be fixed before we finish the BAS off for the quarter. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. So again, just to wrap up, 2 good checks to see whether you're nearly ready to lodge the BAS for the quarter or for other relevant time period is. First of all, have you allocated all the transactions under the For Review tab for that time period under Banking, assuming you have bank feed set up for your Intuit QuickBooks Online. And secondly, by having a look at the detail of the transactions, do they have the right tax codes, and have they been allocated accordingly? All right, thanks very much for listening. Bye.